Hey everybody, this is Bryan Hatch and wanted to jump into another tribute to my grandpa today. And instead of going through my stuff first, I want to just have you listen to my grandpa's poem. A poem that he recites, and you can hear it in his voice. And it's just timely this time of the year. I think it's a great poem, funny poem, and I think a lot of you guys will like it. So let's jump right into the poem, and then I'll share some of my things afterwards.
This one is called Arizona by another unknown author. The devil wanted a place on earth, sort of a summer home where he could take his vacations whenever he wanted to roam. So he picked out Arizona, a land most wretched and rough, where the weather was to his liking and the cowboys hardened and tough. He dried up the streams in the canyon and ordered no rain to fall. He dried up the lakes in the valleys and baked and scorched it all. Then over his barren desert he transplanted shrubs from hell. The cactus, the thistle, the prickly pear, the climate suited them well. His new home was much to his liking, but animals he had none. So he created crawling creatures that all mankind would shun. First he made the rattlesnake, with its forked and poisonous tongue. He taught it to strike and to rattle and how to swallow its young. Then he made lizards and scorpions and the ugly old horny toad. He placed spiders of every description under rocks by the side of the road. Then he ordered the sun to shine hotter and hotter and hotter still, till even the cactus withered and the old horned toad looked ill. Then he gazed on his earthly kingdom, as any creator would. He chuckled a little up his sleeve and admitted that it was good. 'Twas summer now, and Satan lay down by a prickly pear to rest. The sweat rolled off his swarthy brow, so he took off his coat and his vest. By golly, he finally panted, I've done my job too well. I'm going back where I came from. Arizona's hotter than hell.
So I hope you like that poem by an author unknown, but my grandpa recited it. It gets hot in Arizona. You know, if you don't know that it gets warm here, you should come visit. I don't know that you should come visit in the summertime because it is terrible, terrible heat. But growing up, we always were at my grandma and grandpa's house swimming. That was from as little as I can remember until I graduated high school. We were over there as much as possible swimming. To this day, I still have friends that remind me about experiences they had at my grandparents' house, just simple little ones where we were swimming or playing goofy games or jumping off the diving board onto some big floatable, inflatable thing. But we were always there in the summertime. That's what we did. And so I just want to point out that it gets hot, it's fun, but if there's a memory you have of my grandparents, I'd love to hear my cousins reply, even video reply, if you will. I'd love to hear what do you remember about summer at Grandma and Grandpa's house? Because I remember obviously being in the pool a ton. There'd be times we had, one of my favorites is Little Caesars. This is before Little Caesars was what it is today. This is the original Little Caesars where the square pizzas came in. It seemed like every at least couple months, in the summer especially, at my grandma and grandpa's house, all the cousins would gather together in the basement, and the older ones were probably watching us younger ones or whatever the case is, but it felt like the adults got to leave. And I think that's what happened. Maybe not all of them, maybe not all the time, but I feel like there were many times where the parents left. Maybe I remember that wrong. Maybe it wasn't that often.Maybe not very many people left. But at least it felt like the kids were down in the basement eating this Little Caesars pizza. And it's the Little Caesars the original, square, cut into square sections. It was not like a regular piece of pizza type of a scenario. So I remember that. We spent a lot of time with the cousins. We played pool in the basement. We put all the couches together and did even sleepovers sometimes. And the basement was just a fun place. We loved it. And I'm sure the parents, knowing what I know now, I'm sure the parents loved it because they could be upstairs talking to each other and not having to hear us. Kids are awesome, but they are loud. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode today of Tribute to Grandpa, and I'll see you guys next week.